Welcome back to Big Dan's Airguns Reviews. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing some shooting at the 100-yard mark. There's been a lot of guys online doing the same thing, mainly people with high-end PCPs and such like that, and people simply using guns that are obviously a bit above our power level, which is all really good fun stuff. But if you know me, you'll know not only am I a bit of a Springer man, but I'm also a little bit of a masochist to go with it. And I was watching this thinking, that's all impressive, really impressive. But I wonder if you could do it with a spring gun freestanding. Now I can't freestand shoot to save my life, genuinely. No barn door is ever going to be threatened with me shooting freestanding at 20 yards, let alone 100. But I thought, do you know what? I'm usually looking for new ways to embarrass myself, so why don't we give it a go? So we're going to pick our spring gun out. We're going to do a little bit of work on it, not tuning as such, but just tweaking what's already there. Say just trigger, basically. We'll do some zeroing at 25 yards, then we'll move on to 45 yards, get another group, and then with that we'll set some targets up, maybe some tin cans or something, whatever I can find lying around, and see how we get on. So wish me luck. Okay, so the trigger, we want to make this a little bit sweeter. Now, this is using, as we said earlier, the new metal spring guides in here, and with these, there is definitely a slightly different trigger feel out the box compared to the older rifles that we had. Now, by that, with the older guns, you might have seen on our videos, we said the second stage had a bit of creep there, and it was sort of a bit of a gritty feeling on the go as well. It'd sort of move back and then fire. It was not an offensive trigger at all, and if you check our ultra short carbine laminate video, you'll see that we've already done a little segment on that showing off how it sort of adjusts and you can basically make a lovely crisp little trigger. Well, we're going to do the same with this, but this has got a different feel to it compared to your standard Fenix. So with this, the first stage out the box is much shorter, if you can see that there, and the second stage, although there is still creep, which you'll see in a second, it's far less of it. See that? Bit more. Then it breaks. It's not bad at all, but it's just a little bit too heavy for my liking. I want a little bit more travel on that trigger. Now with this, apologies, like we said, if you've already seen our other video, but we'll go over it quickly again. You've got two adjustment screws on your Fenixes and Fusions. The large silver screw is your first stage adjustment, and the smaller screw hidden just behind the trigger blade is your second stage adjustment. So what I want a little bit lighter first stage, which will adjust now by unwinding. Apologies, you can't see anything because all you can see is the back of my head at this moment in time. We'll give that 3/4 of a turn out. And the other thing we're going to do is the first stage adjuster, or second, sorry, I should say, adjuster behind the trigger blade which is really awkward to get to, and I apologise. Like I said, you only seen the back of my head, but then think of the plus side, it's better than the front. Right, let's give that an unwind. Let's say 3/4 of a turn again. Hang on, if I can find it. There he is, got him. Give that an unwind. There we go. Let's give that a go. So, tap that. Put one in. Let's have a play with that. Right then, so first stage. Already a lot lighter. So then we get to the second. Did you see there was still a tiny little bit of creep there? The first stage for me is now perfect, but there's still a tiny bit of creep on the second. So what we're going to do is we're going to get to that little screw again and just give that a dear little bit more of an unwind. And I do apologise, this isn't the most riveting footage for you at this moment in time, but there we go, got there in the end. No, we didn't. Yes, we did. Give that another half a turn. Let's try that. Now I've got a feeling this is going to be pretty sweet. There we go, pop another one in. Thankfully, it looks like the wind's calmed down a bit today as well. It was a bit gusty to begin with. There's second. I'll give that a dear little bit more of an unwind, but can you see there, most of that creep is now gone. And that is now turned into a really crisp little trigger unit. So let's give that one more go. Why did they make the second adjustment screw so small? There we go, a bit more. So that's about 1/3 of a turn. Now this should be pretty damn pucker. Let's give that a go. Second stage. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I'll tell you what, let's do that again, but let's do our usual little finger test. You can see just how nice that is. So, pop one in. Right then, so, make sure she's in a safe place. Yes, she is. Second stage, and then do a little bit more pressure, little finger. How nice was that? And no creep whatsoever. That is ready to rock and roll, and you can see just how little time it takes to go from what is already a nice trigger into something genuinely pretty damn special. So then, that's the trigger sorted out. Let's set that target up at 25 yards now and see what it can actually do downrange. So I'm quite looking forward to this, as you can tell. Right, so now it's time to actually put some lead on target. We're going to begin with, have our shots at about the 25-27 yard mark. You can see the target sat there. And we're going to be shooting from that chair. Oh, if I can aim right. There we go. I can't point with my fingers. How the hell am I going to do it with a gun? But yeah, that's where we're going to be sitting there. How we're going to do it, how we've done it before, is we're going to have the camera sat behind the target card. So you're going to see the impact of the, obviously, pellets hitting the card from the rear. But on top of that, you can also see me, my ugly mug, either sat or standing in the background there, just to roughly get us on target. Then after that, we're going to get ourselves at the 45 yard mark, which will obviously then help us when we come to getting the gun on target at 100 yards, which will be down the bottom field. Wind wise, it's mildly gusty. If you can see that up there, that big tree moving around, if I come back through, you can see here as well, the trees up there sort of moving a bit. In fact, you might even hear it in the lapel mic now as it picks up right on cue, if you've got that then. So yeah, there's a bit of a gust, but hopefully it shouldn't be too bad, at least not at 25 yards. So let's put the camera up and let's see how I can embarrass myself today. Okay, so I know people say that spring guns will never be as accurate as PCPs and such like that. You know, the unwashed, non-believer PCP shooters and such. Can we finally put that to bed now and say that Cometa, much like Virak and Air Arms and Walther, have joined the echelons of, or the ranks when it comes to proving that saying completely wrong? That's 4 shots there, straight through the bullseye. You saw it all happen on camera, with 1 shot there going low because it's me and it's this channel, and as we say, normal service has resumed. Now I don't have a 5p piece, which is actually not a bad thing today because I don't need one. Here is a Norma flathead pellet resting in that 4-shot group straight through the bullseye. When they tell you you need to get a PCP to shoot, I want you to slap them in the face. Don't do that. Genuinely don't do that. But anyways, that's our 25-yard test done. You can tell I'm absolutely beaming behind this camera. We're going to move the target now to 45 yards at the back of the barn there, and then we're going to have a couple of shots at that range as well. I'll get the gun zeroed in off camera, and then we'll see what the gun can do. So this is where wind could be a bit of a factor, but we'll see how we get on. Right, so we're at the 45-yard mark. It's not quite 45 yards for reasons we shall now show. We've had to obviously bring the target forwards a bit so we can get the camera sitting nice and behind it so you can see me in the distance and also the impacts on the card. And of course we'll have another look at it before we move on to the 100-yard mark. It's 40+ yards. Apologies, I don't have the rangefinder with me at the moment. However, rest assured, when it comes to the 100-yard mark, we most certainly will have it, and we'll show you the actual yardage through the little scope itself. We'll put a picture up or something like that, and I'll bring something with me, like as a marker, like a chair that I'll stand next to or something along those lines. Wind-wise, it's on its best behaviour at the moment, annoyingly actually. While I'm recording this little segment, you might be able to see it moving a bit there. We have had a couple of gusts come through, and it is coming straight through where I'm going to be sitting there. But we'll see how we manage, I'll put it that way. So, attempt to embarrass myself, number 2. Well, that answers one question at least. Is the gun capable? Well, bloody well yes, from what we could see from that. Right, 25 yards, you know about this. That's a, again, Norma flathead pellet in the main cluster there with one shot going low. 45 yards, the cluster is off to the left a bit, but that's probably what you get for trying to zero in the wind, and then it calms down a little tad. That's, well, just needs recentering to be fair, but that's all that is. Oh my god. Okay, so one shot went low again, because, as mentioned, this is Big Dan's Airgun Reviews channel, so if we get our Norma pellet, that's 4 shots in that cluster at 40 yards unrested in outdoors semi-gusty conditions, and obviously one flyer as well. In fact, let me try something. Even with the flyer, it's a 20 pence group from a spring gun at that range. Oh my god. I knew I liked the Fusion. I always had a major soft spot with the Fusion, but with this new guide, I could swear to you it shoots even better than what it did before. Right. So we know the gun is absolutely, I'm still absolutely buzzing over that. I know the gun is absolutely capable. The question is, am I? I better, if I can, have a mooch down the field and get that 100-yard target set up. Okay, so for a little bit more fun, I've come out to the bottom field here. You can see it's just had a going over from Farmer Fred. You could say it was a harrowing experience. Sorry, farmer joke. But we have our table set up here. We're going to have the camera set up on the other table here. You can see the battery charger there. And we're going to be standing or sitting. Not sure how brave I feel at the moment. You can see the white speck over there. That's our chair at 102 yards, I believe, or around 100 yards. We'll put a picture up with the rangefinder looking at the blue table here. And all we're going to do is put these, although there is another tin of pellets as well. We're going to put these on top of the table. We're going to have a few shots and see if we can hit any of them. So I'll be happy to hit one at this range with a spring gun, especially considering we've got no rest, no bipod or nothing like that to use. And it's also freezing cold. The excuses are coming out. You can feel how confident I am at this moment in time. The wind's blowing. The sun's in... Oh, no, I can't say that. But yeah, 102 yards. We can have a few shots and see how we get on. So let's get myself and the rifle psyched up and see what we can do. Well, frankly, I'd like to retire as the best shot on the planet, as was just proven there. I mean, I'll take no questions. In fact, I've proven my superiority so much that when I say a gun is accurate, I don't even need to do an accuracy test, because you just know the way it's going to be. And if you'll believe that, you'll believe anything. But no, that was just a bit of fun. There's nothing really intended with this video. It was just a good laugh with a bloody good spring gun. Again, I know there's guys out there that try and make the case that the spring gun's basically going to go the way of the dodo, and they're right in what they're saying. For instance, the budget PCPs and such are just getting so affordable and so good now. I mean, look at your PR900s even, which used to be able to get the base model for sub £200. You've got the Crossman Icon we're going to be reviewing soon. Well, that you can pick up for sub £300. Your Gamos, all that sort of stuff. Crowell as well. And they are cracking guns. But spring is still king for me. Obviously I've shot a lot of PCPs, I respect PCPs. And when they say it's going the way of the dodo,
I don't know. You've got rifles like this Cometa Fusion and the rest of the Cometa line, and even the Accumax who did a review on the other day, that just go to show that you don't need to spend a hell of a lot of money to get a gun that is every bit as accurate as a PCP. There's guys out there, like we mentioned earlier, in a jokey fashion that will say like a Springer's never as accurate as a PCP is going to be. We've proven that completely wrong today. Have a look again at the 45-yard groups if you want to see just how bloody tight these things can group. And obviously that's, as we may have said, without arrest and such like that. Sorry to keep hammering that in, but it's just to further prove the point that Springers are pretty damn special still as well. But in general, I've had a bloody blast, and I hope you've had a bit of fun watching it as well. This gun and Springers in general, as I said, Spring is king. That's never going to change for me. And even with this isn't even an expensive gun. As we said, this is Cometa Fusion. We might have put it in earlier. We only charge 330 quid for these, and you're getting a nice bit of walnut and adjustable cheek piece, cold hammer forged barrel, and lifetime warranty with us as well. And you've seen exactly what the gun's capable of. Sorry to go on a little advertising tangent there, bit of shameless promotion, but again, it does prove that point. And your Virearcs and stuff as well, like your HW99s, your HW97s, 77s, all that. They're cracking bits of kit. Before you potentially put your money down on your next PCP, just have a look at some of the Springers available. Again, Cometa, Virearc, Air Arms, you name it, before you actually make that purchase, because you might end up surprising yourself and end up with a gun for life. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks ever so much for watching. We will continue with the reviews next time. Our next video is going to be on a, I know I keep saying it, but a rather special spring gun, and I will be filming right away, I promise you now. But I couldn't resist with that one. 100-yard shots. People doing it with PCPs? Why bother? Do it with a spring gun. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.